It is time for the AFCON 2025 qualifying match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Mediterranean Knights of Libya. What's the head-to-head record between these teams? Who are the key players to watch on both sides? And what do I think the final score is going to be? Let's get into it. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching this from. My name is AyoT and you are watching EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. So as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the upcoming AFCON 2025 qualifying match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and of course the Knights of Libya. So let's start by talking about the recent form of both teams. Nigeria have one win, 2 defeats, and 2 draws in our last 5 games. Of course, if we look at our AFCON qualifying campaign so far, we defeated Benin Republic and then, of course, we drew that game against Rwanda. Whereas if you look at Libya, they have 2 draws, 2 defeats, and 1 win. And of course, in their last 2 AFCON qualifying matches, they have 1 draw and 1 defeat. So clearly, Nigeria is off to the better start in the AFCON qualifying campaign. Libya are currently bottom of our group. And, on paper, you would want to say that they shouldn't be a test for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. According to the FIFA ranking, the Super Eagles are currently 39th in the world, whereas our opponents, Libya, are 121st in the world. So they are slightly higher ranked than Rwanda, who we faced in our last game, but they are still quite a distance away from the Super Eagles when it comes to the FIFA ranking. Looking at the head-to-head of both teams, Nigeria have 4 wins and Libya have 1 win in the 5 matches that the teams have contested. One of those games was in the CHAN competition, but it's still Nigeria versus Libya, so we're going to include it. The 1 win for Libya came in the 2004 LG Cup in the semi-final of that competition, and we beat them most recently 3-2 in an AFCON qualifier in October 2018. I don't know if you remember that game, but we had a brace by Odion Igalo with an Ahmed Musa goal sandwiched in between. Again, the head-to-head record suggests that the Super Eagles are the better side, have historically been the better side, and we hope that the same can be said after the game tomorrow. Let's talk about the Libya squad. Let's talk about the Libya squad. What should we know about the Libya squad? That's what I'm here to tell you today. Libya's biggest threat, I'll start with that, in my opinion, is a guy called Sobi Al Mabruk. He is a defender, he's a fullback, he plays for Al Ittihad in the Libyan league. He scored their goal in the first AFCON qualifier against Rwanda, and in the second game, he also played well against Benin Republic. Didn't score in that game though. He's involved in most of their play. A lot of their build-up starts from him, even though he's a defender. And he tries to get forward in attack as much as possible down that left flank. Libya are a team that actually like to play football. When you watch how they've played in their AFCON qualifiers so far, and even previous matches, you see that they believe that they can move the ball around. They like to play quick passes, 1-2 touches. They like to get the ball forward, playing actually good football. They don't appear to be a team like Rwanda we saw in the last game that will just want to sit back and let them soak all the pressure and then try to hit you on the counter. Of course, when you're playing against certain teams, when you're playing against a team with the quality of Nigeria, you might be forced to do that every once in a while. You might be forced to sit back and soak pressure. But Libya actually wants to play football. And funny enough, that is something that I think could work to the advantage of the Super Eagles when we face them tomorrow in the AFCON qualifiers. I believe that against the press, against the quality of the press and the quality of the players that the Super Eagles have, even though they want to play this football, even though they trust in their abilities, they have decent players on their team, I just think that, they would, should I say, crumble under the pressure from the Nigerian players. And I think it gives us an opportunity to be able to win the ball high up on the field and be able to get towards their goal fairly quickly when players are out of position and without having to go through 10, 9, men to break down the team. So it's going to be an interesting watch. What I think the Super Eagles definitely need to be careful of, I think they need to be, careful when it comes to set pieces. Libya tend to create a lot of their chances from set pieces or simply from just crosses into the box from the right or from the left wing. You know, they trust in their aerial ability. They trust in their ability to win the second ball. So they try to play in as many crosses as possible. They win free kicks in wide areas, and then they try to whip the ball in. Any kind of error, any kind of mistake, and then they pounce on it and they try to get a chance or they try to get a goal. However, I'll be honest with you. I trust in the abilities of William Troost-Ekong, Shemi Ajayi to be able to deal with aerial threats. And even if the centre backs are not able to deal with it, I also trust in the goalkeeper, whether it be Stanley Nwabali or Maduka Okoye in goal. I believe that our goalkeepers are able to handle these threats with the aerial balls into the box. They can come out confidently and claim the ball, you know, and they can make saves as well. But it's just something that I think the Super Eagles should be aware of, because if Libya were to get a goal in the game, in my opinion, if Libya were to get a goal, it will probably be either through a set piece or a cross in the box, and maybe we don't clear properly, they get the second ball and they knock it in. On the Nigerian side, who do I think are the players to watch? Players to watch in this game for the Nigerian side, I will say Ademola Lookman. Of course, Ademola Lookman has been a talisman. He scored that fantastic brace against Benin. He's been running the show for Nigeria and also for his club, to be fair to him, nominated for the Ballon d'Or. So I think Ademola Lookman is going to be a player that the Libyans have to pay attention to. If they are going to curb the threat of Nigeria, they have to find a way to control Ademola Lookman in this game. And of course, we are without Victor Osimhen for this match because he is out with an injury. So I'm going to say Victor Boniface is the second player to watch on the Nigerian side. Victor Boniface, of course, is yet to get off the mark, is yet to score his first goal for the Super Eagles. And I don't know why I'm just having that feeling in my heart that this might be the game where he opens his dock, where he gets his first goal, and where things start flowing in the very, very right direction for him. I'm assuming that he's going to get the start, obviously. And I'll be happy to see if, you know, Victor Boniface can get his first goal for the Super Eagles. Key matchups in the game, I think if I mention that their, you know, strongest threat is their left fullback or left wing back, however they choose to play, then I think a key matchup is going to be him versus our right winger. Whether that be Samuel Chukwueze, whether the coach starts with Moses Simon, or whether the coach decides to go left field and maybe play Ejuke from the right, I don't know. We have to wait and see. But I think that matchup is going to be key. You want somebody that is not only able to deal with him when we are on the offensive, but also be able to watch him carefully when we're on the defensive. Frankly, I'm not too worried because I know that we're probably going to have Ola Aina on that right side of defense. And I mean, I trust Ola Aina against any forward in the world. Yes, on some days he can get beat, you know, he's a human being at the end of the day. But I frankly trust Ola Aina against almost any forward in the world. Solid defender, knows how to get the job done. 1v1 is fantastic, has the pace to follow anybody. So I think, you know, that's a key matchup to watch, but I also think that it's a matchup that the Super Eagles should be winning. As far as the keys to success for Nigeria in this game, you know, as simple as it may sound, I think the key to success is just to play together and to play our own game. On paper, this is not a match that should be worrisome for the Super Eagles. I know we cannot get carried away. We cannot assume that we've already won the game. And that's why I say play together. Play for one another, fight for one another, play with each other, and just play our own game. Pass the ball around, try to get crosses into the box, try to find those defense splitting passes, and just play our game. I believe that if Nigeria should play our best game, and Libya should play their best game, Nigeria will win because we are just better than them. So in this match, let's not try to overcomplicate things. Let's not try to do too much. Nobody should try to play hero ball. Just play our own game. Like I said earlier, I do not necessarily expect Libya to come and sit back for the whole time. I expect them to want to play their football. I expect them to want to get forward in the attack, want to try to get a goal. And these things should open up gaps here and there that the Super Eagles should be able to exploit. It should create some opportunities for us on quick counters when we win the ball high up the field in their own half. So if we play our natural game, we play for each other, we play to the instruction of the coach, I believe that we should be able to be the superior side and get the victory over Libya. Let me know in the comments what you think the keys to success should be. If there's anything I missed, if there's any player that I haven't mentioned on the Libyan side that you think could be a threat, also please leave that in the comments. And then I'll go into my predicted 11 for the game. In goal, I think the coach is going to stick with Stanley Nwabali. As much as I would like to see Maduka Okoye get his chance again in the Super Eagles, I want him to show Nigerian fans that, hey, whatever negative feeling or negative thought you have about me, I am a top goalkeeper that is playing top football in the Italian Serie A, and I can do this for the country as well. But for the sake of my prediction, I believe that Osne Guavon is going to stick with Stanley Nwabali in goal. I think he's going to go with a 3 centre-back formation with Calvin Bassey, left centre-back, William Troost-Ekong, the captain, centre-back, centre-back, and then Shemi Ajayi, right centre-back. I think the wing-backs will be Bruno Yemechi on the left and Ola Aina on the right. In midfield, I think he's going to go with Alex Iwobi and Wilfred Ndidi. Alex Iwobi particularly because I think we're going to have the lion's share of possession, and you want somebody that can play good passes and can try to play defense-splitting passes. And then the forwards, I believe that Victor Boniface is going to start as the striker, especially in the absence of Victor Osimhen. On the left-hand side, of course, it has to be Ademola Lookman, star player right now, Ballon d'Or nominee. And on the right side, that's where the question comes in a little bit. Will it be Chukwueze? Will it be Simon? Can he just maybe decide to play Ejuke? I'm going to go by process of elimination and say, because Ejuke is a returnee into the squad after not being there for a long time, Ejuke is probably going to sit on the bench. So now between Chukwueze and Simon, I just think that Moses Simon is not a right winger. A lot of the time when he comes on during the game and he starts on the right, he ends up switching to the left because that's where he's more comfortable. That's where he's more effective. So despite the lack of form, the lack of performances that we've seen recently from Samuel Chukwueze, I'm still going to say that Samuel Chukwueze starts on the right wing. So just to recap on my predicted starting 11, Stanley Nwabali in goal, Bruno Yemechi left wing back, Calvin Bassey, Ekong, and Shemi Ajayi as the centre backs, Ola Aina as the right wing back, Alex Iwobi and Wilfred Ndidi in the center of the park, and then forwards, Lookman on the left, Chukwueze on the right, and Boniface as the number 9. Feel free to let me know in the comments what your own starting 11 prediction is, and if there's any changes that you would like the coach to make during the course of the game. And then as far as my score prediction, finally, like I said, I think this is a game that should honestly not be an issue for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I know that we cannot win every game, but we already dropped points against Rwanda. If we win our 2 games in this window, we've all but, secured qualification for the tournament. And again, Libya, I don't think will come and park the bus against us. I don't think Libya will come and just sit back entirely. So I think we should be able to have better chances than we did in the last match against Rwanda. And for this reason, I'm going to go with a 3-0 victory for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I think we're more than capable of scoring 3 goals against them. I think we should be winning this game. And like I said, I expect today to maybe be the day that Boniface gets off the mark. So I'm going to predict at least 1 goal for Victor Boniface and then at least 1 goal for Ademola Lookman. Whoever scores the third is up in the air as far as I'm concerned. But I'm going to go with a 3-0 victory for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Again, let me know what your own score prediction is in the comments, and let me know who your preferred goal scorers will be for the game. In summary, anything other than a victory for the Super Eagles, whether it be 1, 2, 3 goals, anything short of a victory is a disappointing result. I know we've sometimes got into this habit of saying, oh, but the team played well. Oh, they played fancy football. Oh, they expressed themselves. Oh, the other team played well. No. When you are a top team, or when you're supposed to be a top team, playing against a team that is much weaker than yourself, you should be winning the games. Again, I know this is football. Football is not played on paper. Anybody can beat anybody. There are no minnows in Africa. All the things that people are going to say, I know. But again, we are supposed to be giants in this continent. We are the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We should be beating a team that is ranked 121st in the world. We should be beating a team that we are much better than. We should be beating Libya. So as far as I'm concerned, anything short of a win in this game will be a very disappointing result. Let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel so that you can keep on enjoying exclusive content from Uyo. We are going to be covering the game there, and of course, enjoy future content to come on the channel. Once again, my name is AyoT. This is EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. Thank you, and see you on the next one.